Okay, good morning YouTube. Another watch comparison today. As I stated in some of my newest videos, now instead of just doing one watch show and tells, which I will still be doing, I got a couple exciting ones coming next week, so keep your eyes peeled for those. Now I'm also going to be doing side-by-side comparisons. So if somebody's in the market to buy a watch, mainly Invictas, but I am going to be doing some reviews on this one. Here's a Diesel we're going to be doing today, and of course, naturally Invictas. Basically, we're going to start with the Diesel. Okay, this one here is the Diesel. Let me get you the model number here. It is the DZ7221. It's their Big Daddy line of watches, sometimes referred to as SBA for Super Badass, but as far as the manufacturer's name for them, these are called the Big Daddies. And of course, this one here is, again, the DZ7221 and the Invicta Grand Arsenal 0336, my personal favorite. So let's go ahead and start with the Diesel. Basically, what I'm doing here is I'm not going to throw a whole bunch of facts out at you. If any of you have watched my videos already, you know that I'm not a watch expert. I just am a watch collector, and I basically just want to share what they look like, my opinion of the watches, and the main purpose is when I was shopping for watches, I can never see somebody or find somebody with it on their wrist. And it makes a big difference when you actually see it on a person and know how big they are. So I weigh 170 pounds, I'm 5'8" tall, and my wrist is 7 inches. So most watches look pretty big on me, but definitely instead of me showing it to you all close with the white gloves on like a lot of these videos do, you'll get a good perspective on what it's going to look like on your wrist. And I think that's pretty helpful. It definitely helped me when I went ahead and was making the purchase for my first Invicta, and I think it'll help you. And so far with the reviews that I'm getting, it does. So let's start with this one. Again, just some basic facts. I'm going to give you the dimensions. The nice thing about the Diesel, this is the first watch I got when they really started getting big. And I'm pretty sure that Diesel and the Invicta Grand Arsenal are probably two of the biggest watches you'll find. I have some people making comments that there are bigger made. If you do know of anything larger than these watches, let me know, because I sure would like to get one. The only watch I've seen that's larger and you can't get it is this god-awful thing called the Musk. It's supposed to be 90 millimeters, just more of a clown watch, but hey, I would still get it because that's my style. So anyway, the Diesel one comes in a 2-year warranty, which is pretty good. Unfortunately, my digital part, this is the analog digital. You have, I believe, 4 time zones, and then you have the digital down here, which is kind of a neat feature. The watch is 57 millimeters for the face. Okay, pretty beefy watch. This was my go-to watch before I started getting involved in Invictas. It's not really thick. It's 13 millimeters. That's pretty small. But I mean, for the average person, that's pretty big. Okay. But once you get desensitized, start going with the Invictas, you'll find that that's a pretty narrow depth on that. Okay, but still a nice watch. You have kind of like this knurling in the side. Your pushers all over the place here. They're not screw down, so you don't have a screw down crown. This is kind of for what you pay for it. I believe there's a lot of markup in the Diesel watches as opposed to the Invicta. I mean, but still a really cool watch to have in your collection. They make them in a lot of different colors. I would still definitely recommend it. It's all stainless steel, of course. This one has the black face. It's got a Japanese quartz movement. That's about all it says about them. I wasn't able to find any more information. I'm sure you can find it out there. Pretty basic. Diesel doesn't really pride themselves on making, timepieces, although they make a lot of different things. It's still a really nice watch. Again, it does have the 2-year warranty. What else? It's got the locking clasp right here, the push button clasp. Not too much information I can really find about it. You have 30 meters of water resistance. That's not much at all, so I don't recommend going diving with it or swimming. Although it'd probably be okay. The clasp is called push button deployment, and that's about it. Mainly the size. I mean, also when I looked at it on Amazon, they rate this watch, or not rate this watch, but they list this watch as weighing what was it, 1.1 pounds. I believe that was with the packaging. I weighed it. You're looking at about 8 ounces with this particular watch. Okay, still a really nice watch. Go ahead and throw it on the wrist here. So there you go. See, that's a big watch. Get a little close-up on it there. Alright, so now to the next watch. Again, my personal favorite, the Invicta Grand Arsenal. If you're watching my videos, you'll know that I'm going to repeat the same thing over and over again as far as the specs on this. It does have the 8040 N Swiss Ronda quartz chronograph, flame fusion crystal, screw down function pushers. Okay, they're all screw down. Crown. You have a crown protector right here. 9¼ inch length on the bracelet, 30 millimeters on width. That's pretty wide, and 63 millimeters on the case. Now they rated it 63 because they do include on this the crown protector and the pushers and the lugs here. Now normally when you measure a watch, you don't measure it that way. So this one does measure 58 across the bezel, okay, as opposed to 57 on the diesel. But because it's got so much beef on the side, it wears like a 63. So this is a chunky watch. You have 600 feet of water resistance, and this thing weighs 14 ounces. That's unsized. When you go ahead and size it for a 7-inch wrist, you're going to be getting about 12 ounces, okay? So still a very heavy watch. So there they are, side by side. Let me go ahead and put this one on this wrist. Get it on here. I'm not used to getting on the opposite wrist here. Alright, there you go. So there they are, side-by-side comparison. I have to say, for what you pay for the Invicta watches, you get so much watch for the money. I mean, and that's even dealing with like Shop HQ and places like that, because Invicta, you're going to find a lot of different prices on these things. They range a lot. The retail price they put on them is just like, on this watch is $2,000. Now, I'm sure there are some suckers who have paid $2,000, you know, maybe in some areas of the country where people, you know, have a lot of money or whatever. I don't know, but you know, maybe they get, basically you're getting duped, but still a beautiful watch. I mean, nonetheless. I got this for a really great deal. This watch you're looking at about average price on the 0336 Invicta, which is what this one is. You're looking at about $500 to $600 if you keep your eye peeled on holiday specials, depending on how many they make. I've seen Grand Arsenals go, lowest I've seen was $198. That was recently, and that was a blue and silver one, and those are gone. Like, you have to really, those are once only prices on Shop HQ. You don't really find those too often. So let me go ahead and give it a little side-by-side here. Still, the diesel's a really nice watch. I think I paid about $350 for the diesel. You get them a lot cheaper now because they've kind of flooded the market more. When I first got it, they were kind of new on the scene. So you can see the width there. Now, by the picture, it doesn't really look like the Invicta's all that much bigger, but I mean, it is. I mean, we're not talking about, you know, huge difference. You're looking at 13 millimeters on the diesel versus 19 on the Invicta. But remember, they're figuring 19 from the back of the case all the way to the top of one of these lugs here. Not the lugs, but these hex screws. So, get a little back there. Check out the bracelet. And let me tell you, I mean, for the money. Now, the diesel's a great watch. It's not a bad watch at all, but there's no comparison when you start looking at the diesel compared to the Invicta. You know, $350 for this watch. I got it because at the time, I don't think they had any of these Invictas out that were this large, and if they did, I sure didn't know about them. And I didn't know how many cool Invictas there were, because you, like where I live, you just don't go to the store or Macy's and get to be like, oh wow, I see, you know, you get to see it and be like, what is that? And then start to research it. You know, I didn't really know much about diesel or Invicta watches until I got my first Venom, and then you know, that's it. It's been game over from there. But for $350 for this versus getting this, let's say you can pick. I've looked on eBay. You can pick these up from, you know, $300 to $400. If you're gonna pay $350 for this, you might as well go and drop a little bit extra on this thing. I mean, I mean, why spend $350 for something when you can spend even $5 and get something like this? There is no comparison. If you could feel these side by side, you'd know exactly what I'm talking about. And I know it's hard to tell by the picture, but the diesel looks like it's larger, but it really isn't. If you had these side by side, you're going to see how much chunkier the Invicta one is. And the diesel is just a little bit different because you have that bezel going right to the end, whereas this one here you have a lot more going on there. So polishing down the middle, no polishing really on the diesel except for around the bezel, a little bit on the sides here. But again, still a nice watch. If you could pick this up for like $150, $200, I totally recommend it. But there's a lot nicer watches you can get for that money if you go ahead and put it towards Invicta. Alright guys, well thanks again for watching. If you have any kind of questions or comments, don't hesitate to drop one. And check out some of the new videos coming next week. Going to have a gigantic game changer. It's going to be the Sea Hunter full size. It's going to be massive, so look for that. Alright, take care. Thank you.